It's a dramatic escalation in this widening rift between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Donald Trump posted on social media on Wednesday that Ukraine's president had done a terrible job, and he accused him of being a dictator over his decision not to hold fresh presidential elections while Ukraine remains at war. President Trump also suggested millions of US dollars given to Ukraine over the last 3 years had gone missing. As part of the spat between the two leaders, Trump on Tuesday said Zelenskyy should have never started the war with Russia, despite the fact it was Moscow that launched the invasion on its neighbour. Trump also said Zelenskyy could have made a deal earlier at any point in the last 3 years of fighting. The Ukrainian president, in turn, has criticised his US counterpart for parroting Russian propaganda to question his legitimacy and intentions. Zelenskyy on Wednesday described Donald Trump as living in a disinformation space. The new US administration has certainly rapidly shifted Washington's approach to the war in Ukraine. The Biden administration had tried to cold shoulder Russia by imposing sanctions and severing business and diplomatic relations, while at the same time giving billions of dollars to Ukraine in humanitarian and military support. But by contrast, the Trump administration is now ready to work with Russia. This week, top US and Russian officials met in Saudi Arabia for the start of peace negotiations. Ukraine and other European allies were excluded from the talks, something that caused consternation on the European continent, amid worries that Washington may broker a deal at the expense of Kyiv with terms favourable to Moscow. The US and Russia, though, have both said that Ukraine will be part of eventual negotiations, affirming that the primary focus of this week's US-Russia meeting was to reset relations between the two countries. But as part of the push for peace, President Trump added more pressure on President Zelenskyy on Wednesday, writing on social media that the Ukrainian leader better move fast or he is not going to have a country left. Nick Harper, SABC News, Washington.